Congratulations, ladies. Just some unbelievable highlights there. The Valley staff has been hard at work on this event for the last several months, and this relatively small group of people service not only the needs of 12 university athletic programs, but also have almost specialized in putting on major athletic events, including the NCAA tournament games. The league's leader, Commissioner Jeff Jackson, has worked with our board of directors to add 3 new member institutions this year and continues to be a huge advocate for the areas of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and has positioned the Valley to be at the forefront of national trends. Blending 30 years of coaching experience with nearly a decade as an athletic administrator, the 10th commissioner of the Missouri Valley Conference, please help me welcome Commissioner Jeff Jackson. Commissioner Jackson, welcome. Good to see you.
Thank you, Kelly. Thanks for doing this.
Happy to be here.
Happy to be here. A lot of very beautiful people in the room. I want to be careful. It's a tough crowd out there.
Well, I was joking with a couple of the players in the bathroom, too. Everybody looks so good. I'm used to seeing you in practice jerseys and uniforms, so it's fun to see so many of you all dressed up.
Yep.
This year was the first year, back in September, that the Missouri Valley Conference had a standalone women's basketball media day. Why is spotlighting women's basketball and having a standalone media day, why was it such a priority for this league?
Well, to be candid, it was a little bit overdue. Women's basketball has always been tremendously successful in the Missouri Valley. I think to acknowledge that, to take the opportunity to honor that, and as we're going to do this evening, figure out a way to celebrate that, was paramount to what we needed to do to move forward as a conference. So a lot of our thanks to Mo Hyder here at Rhythm City and Dave Harrell and Visit Quad Cities for helping our staff put this together, and hopefully a great start to what's going to be a great week of college basketball.
Media Day was also a chance for these teams to really build rapport and get involved here in the local Quad Cities community. So what was some
Oh, it's fantastic. I think one of the things that we don't want to do as a conference is be in the community. We just don't want to show up places. And I think it's important that we take the time to embed ourselves.
In terms of being a little bit of a trailblazer, but also increase and enhance the perception of our conference.
Fast forward to January, the Missouri Valley Conference hosted their first linear TV game since 2013 when Illinois State played at Belmont. And when we go into Sunday, the championship game, that'll also be on linear TV on ESPNU. So why is the national visibility and linear TV positioning so important to the exposure of this conference at a national level?
Well, you know, I think it's dovetailing. I think not only the Missouri Valley Conference, but maybe more importantly, our broadcast partners, whether it's been ESPN, whether it's been CBS, they understand how important women's basketball is. You know, some of this is obviously altruistic in terms of us wanting to do the right thing, but I also think some of it is the level of play, the quality of play, and people understanding that there is an interest in the general public of watching good women's basketball, and that's what the Missouri Valley Conference represents.
This year has been a year-long celebration of Title IX, both at the national level, but also here in our league. As a former coach yourself, an administrator, now commissioner, and the dad of 2 daughters, why has Title IX been significant in your own life?
Well, you know, I think and I think the one thing I don't want to see happen is we only talk about Title IX in this type of esteem during this year. You know, it's more than a 50-year celebration, and as many people know, it's more than just addressing women's athletics when you actually look at the actual bill that was passed. But I think what I'm hopeful of is that this is a jumping off point. that we continue, as you talked about, whether it's interacting with our broadcast partners, whether it's interacting internally as a staff with our membership, or whether it's the things that we do externally in terms of giving our student athletes better and more opportunities to create their student athlete experience. We want to continue to grow that, and we also want to take the time, as we'll do later this evening, to honor the past and make sure people understand that they're standing on the shoulders of some people who have done some tremendous things, and now they're going to have an opportunity to take advantage of it, and hopefully they're thinking about the things that they can do to pay it forward.
We have a wide open Hoops in the Heartland tournament. It has been a wild regular season. So what are you most looking forward to about the next 4 days?
You know, it's interesting. I always go back this year in the Missouri Valley Conference, whether it's men's or women's basketball, to February 1st. You know, February 1st, we had 4 women's games that evening, and each game was decided by 2 points or less. On the men's side, we had 3 games that went to overtime. 1 went to double overtime. And I think that's just indicative of the competitive level that we have amongst our teams in the Valley. I don't expect to see anything less starting on Thursday. I think it's going to be a tremendous tournament. I know late in the season, I think it was 2 weeks before the end, we still had 5 teams that could actually finish first. So I'm just going to sit there as a fan and kind of see who takes over and watch some great talent.
Well, thank you for your leadership and for being here.
Well, thank you for doing this, and congratulations to everybody on a great season, and best of luck starting Thursday morning in the championship.
Let's give a round of applause for Commissioner Jeff Jackson.
Yep. Thank you. No problem. You're staying. I'm done.
Thank you, Jeff. Throughout the 2022-23 academic year, the Missouri Valley Conference has been celebrating the 50th anniversary of Title IX. And the Valley certainly has its share of pioneers who have laid the foundations for success for all of our women's sports programs. The conference has recognized some of those trailblazers throughout this year who have helped pave the way for our current and our future Valley student athletes. And we're thrilled to have 3 of those individuals in attendance with us here tonight, and we'll be hearing from all of them shortly. As MVC correspondent Grant Pugh details, our first speaker returns to her alma mater to become the first female to serve as Indiana State's president.
Dr. Deborah Curtis is the first female president at Indiana State University and just the second alum to have the president's title. Curtis is no stranger to the Missouri Valley Conference, spending 26 years at Illinois State before eventually landing back at her blue and white home as president in 2018. Her extensive background in public education not only led her back to ISU, but her background as a high school volleyball and softball coach helped pave the way for Title IX. Some big athletics changes have happened in her tenure at Indiana State, including the $50 million renovations at Holman Center, which were completed back in late 2020. She also helped the campus and community deal with tragedy in August of 2022 as 3 Indiana State students, including 2 members of the football team, were killed in a car crash. Curtis continues to move the university and conference forward as she now joins the discussion on the importance of Title IX.
Dr. Curtis, come on down. This is my Price is Right moment. I feel like Bob Barker right now. Right? As MVC correspondent Connor Cleary explains, our next panelist personifies the term trailblazer at her institution.
After graduating Belmont in 1965, Wiseman immediately began teaching as a professor in the Belmont Health and Physical Education Department. After she began teaching, Wiseman requested to start a women's basketball program. In 1968, Belmont women's basketball competed for the first time with Wiseman as the head coach. That started a run of 16 seasons. In addition to founding the women's basketball program, Betty ran several popular summer camps. one of which was attended by Cheatham County High School basketball star and future University of Tennessee head coach Pat Head Summit. After her tenure as head coach, Wiseman continued teaching at Belmont. She was heavily involved in Belmont's transition to Division I and helped to establish 6 other women's programs, including volleyball, softball, soccer, track and field, cross country, and golf. In 1995, Wiseman started the athletics mission movement at Belmont. For more than 25 years, these mission trips have gone to 14 different countries across 4 continents. Betty still regularly attends Belmont sporting events and is a prominent figure on campus. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Betty Wiseman.
Betty, come on down. And fun fact about Betty, so as my work as an analyst, I have to watch a lot of film. And Betty doesn't realize this, but I was watching one of your recent men's games, and she is one heck of a dancer.
Am I supposed to dance?
I mean, if you want to dance, you can, but I was very impressed. You have some moves. As NBC correspondent Kurt Pegler shares, our final speaker excelled on the collegiate, international, and professional stages.
Arguably the greatest women's basketball player to ever play at Illinois State, Kathy Boswell came to campus from Joliet, Illinois in 1979. 4 years later, she ended her collegiate career as the Redbirds' all-time leader in scoring and rebounding. During her Illinois State career, she led the Redbirds to 90 wins, an NCAA tournament berth, and 2 trips to the Women's National Invitation Tournament. Illinois State won the Gateway Conference her senior year. The 1983 Illinois State grad made the 1984 United States Olympic team and won a gold medal in the Summer Games in Los Angeles. She had a professional basketball career that included stops in Germany, Italy, and Spain. She also played pro ball in the United States in the American Basketball League. Ladies and gentlemen, Kathy Boswell.
And for all you players out there, next time you're playing in Sefke Arena, just look up in the rafters and you will see Kathy Boswell's banner hanging from up there.
Let's see.
Well, first of all, Betty, welcome to the Quad Cities. This is your first experience here at Hoops in the Heartland.
It is, and we've been here about 2.5 hours.
Nothing like starting off with a bang.
Really?
And Kathy and Dr. Curtis, great to see you both, and always good to have you here as part of the basketball postseason championship. As most of you know, the conference has been celebrating the passage of Title IX some 50 years ago. It was a landmark decision that paved the way for some of the greatest success stories in collegiate sports and professional sports as well. For those in the room that may not be aware, and I really hope everyone is aware here of what Title IX is, but Title IX of the Education Amendments prohibits discrimination on the basis of sex in education programs receiving federal financial assistance. As you know from the introductory videos we just shared, we are so fortunate to have these 3 panelists who have accomplished something so extraordinary during their time at their respective alma maters. Their drive and determination have guided their career paths as player, coach, and administrator. But that passion has certainly been rechanneled now to provide opportunities for both female and male student athletes during their journey. So ladies, let's get it started. This question is for all 3 of you. And Kathy, let's start with you. What does Title IX signify to you?
Title IX, for me, signifies everything. I think growing up and playing basketball and all sports with the guys in the neighborhood, I never even imagined that, there was a possibility that I couldn't go to school and be able to play the sports that I love. So actually, for me, being on the cusp of Title IX, I'm just so thankful that all the trailblazers before, who spent many, seasons trying to just scratch away so that we can all enjoy sports, the sports that we have today and the way that we, play them. So for me, it's been just the most important thing for me and my journey.
Betty, you're in a unique position because you were not one of the beneficiaries necessarily of Title IX. You played before it was passed. So what is the significance of Title IX to you?
Wow, I celebrate Title IX every day. I didn't have the opportunities as a young woman that these women have. And there's a little girl inside me that still wants to come out and play. Maybe that's why I dance at games and make a fool of myself. But it's a real celebration, and I think it's interesting that this is International Women's Day. And so the fact that we're celebrating that, we're celebrating women, Title IX, what a great kickoff to your tournament.
Dr. Curtis, what is the personal significance of Title IX to you?
Well, I really have to say, he's sitting right over there, Lynn Curtis, my husband. I'd have never met him if it weren't for Title IX. We met each other at a coaches meeting with about 30 men, and the other woman coach and I said, we're going. And no one was smiling in the room but that guy. And that's, 45 years later. But it really was that opportunity to be able to be a part. And I say, young ladies, at that time, you had to have pointy elbows. You just had to have the pointy elbows to be able to get in there. And I like to think that many people who were blazing that trail at that time did that so you don't have to. But I'm not too sure that's exactly correct yet. It's just a different version of it, right?
All three of you experienced Title IX in different forms, different levels. Dr. Curtis, you coached high school volleyball and softball before becoming a university president. Kathy, you played professionally and internationally. And Betty, you started the Belmont women's basketball program while serving as an educator.
I started the program the first year. Actually, I went into the president's office and just asked to start the program, and we began in 1968. I had been teaching 2 years, and we were a private university at that time, a very small school. And then in 72, when Title IX came into being, as a private university, we didn't accept funds, so Title IX did not help us at that point. And it took us several years before our university made some changes and we could accept some federal funds. I don't think I gave a full scholarship to any player until 1980, and that's 12 years before we even gave full scholarships. So I know where we came from, and that's why I love to talk about it.
Dr. Curtis, as someone that experienced Title IX at both the high school and now the university level, how would you contrast those two experiences?
Sometimes I'm not really being facetious. In softball at that time, as Title IX came along, there were some young women who played ball growing up because they had brothers or they had dads who would take them out. But honestly, at that time, being a softball coach, you had to say, oh, no, you hold the skinny end of the bat, not the other end, right? It was just a discovery for a lot of young women about the opportunity to be able to be competitive. And to me, that was the key piece. For many young women, it was, well, you can be in music, you can be in student government, but there wasn't that competitive opportunity to be on a floor or a court or a field and compete with others. So the thrill for me now, these many years later, is to watch the evolution of young women who've had that opportunity, and they personalize that confidence now in a way that a lot of young women didn't have the opportunity to do before. So to me, the thrill is watching, and I'm looking at a table of a couple of them over there, the finest young athletes in the country, sitting right over there from Indiana State, and the confidence with they conduct themselves, that wasn't always available to young women. So that's the big thrill for me at this point, seeing that.
Kathy, you went to state school, Illinois State University, so what was your experience at that level?
As I mentioned before, I was right at the cusp, and I think What really sparked everything for me was when I saw in high school we had the opportunity to compete in the first Illinois State Girls High School Championship. So there, from that point on, I knew that Title IX had affected me personally in that way, that I knew that I could start to work hard and dream about, getting a scholarship, because at that time there weren't many scholarships being handed out. The universities didn't have the funds for it. And I was fortunate enough to get that full scholarship. And I was also introduced to the USA basketball in the summers, and I found out that we play basketball overseas. So I was always been an adventurous kid, so at the first chance I saw to be able to go overseas and play professionally, then I took that chance, and that helped me to prepare for the Olympics. And I think all of it has just been a journey because of what the Trailblazers have done for all of us. And we can never forget that. I choke up because I think about some of the stories that I've heard about having 4 sports and 1 uniform, and they had to share uniforms, 5 pairs of shoes. The starters got the shoes, and they took them off and gave them to the other ones. I mean, I just hold my mouth open saying, wow, you really did fight and scratch for our rights. You really did everything you could to get us where we are today. And I'm thankful that I was able to participate in the Olympics and win the first gold medal for the United States in Los Angeles. And I'm very thankful that I can come back and tell my story now and tell my journey. And hopefully that'll spark some little girl's eyes and help her to dream, help her to keep dreaming, okay? So keep passing your stories on to the next generation, because that's what's gonna make Title IX, be significant for all of us, always.
Well said. Betty, as we talked about, you had a vastly different collegiate experience because Belmont had not passed Title IX. You actually had to participate in intramural basketball. So how was your career shaped by your lack of opportunity as a collegiate athlete?
Well, when I was at Belmont as a student, the intramural program was really almost non-existent. And I'd never heard the name intramural to begin with. But I organized intramurals when I was a student. And so it was run by students, and it was competitive. And at the same time, I would get, for instance, we played basketball against different clubs and organizations. And at the end, I would organize a team from all the groups, and I contacted like Peabody College, which was across the street, MTSU. Do you all have an extramural team? And so that's how we competed at Belmont in undergrad school. And then going into the president's office, first year that I was teaching, I kept saying, why not? Why not?
Dr. Curtis, you spent 37 years in higher education. Why is Title IX still relevant and needed today?
Well, I think an important thing to think about is it's not a destination. And I don't think it'll ever be a destination. It's a journey. And we all, take the hand off of the baton. At whatever point in the evolution, we take the hand off of the baton. And I was really glad to hear Jeff say to these female student athletes here tonight, now you play it forward. Now you make sure that the others who come after you have the benefit of what you have put in place. So I think it's really that constant evolution. And I want to add one piece as well. I have also had the privilege to watch young men look at young women differently as athletes over that period of time. Many of us can remember back a time, I remember it, high school, GAA. That was where a lot of young women, threw a ball out after school and said, yeah, you got till 5:30, have a good time, and off you went, into what young women get to participate in now. and how they're viewed by male student athletes now as well as competitors and equals in that ability to compete and do well. I will point to even now the rising popularity of women's professional basketball and how young women are following that now the way we saw young men follow professional basketball before. It's that evolution, and I'm asking these young women to hand off that baton and keep it going.
Kathy, you competed at Illinois State at 1982-83, the first year of NCAA athletics. What stands out about that time of transition?
I laugh a little bit because we had these old uniforms that, you know, we all had to use and grin and bear it. And I remember coming to practice one day, and we had these boxes out there, and we were all curious, what's in these boxes? Oh boy, we had some new socks, new uniforms, new sweats, something's going on here. So we had a lot of infusion of grants and money that came in through the NCAA. They were able to offer more scholarships. We were able to get, you know, as I said, clothes and shoes, and we were able to be comfortable out there on the court practicing, and we got to use the facilities. I mean, everything was just handed to us so that we could be the best that we could be. And I think, you know, our travel got better. Like before, we used to just play, you know, the close teams, you know, like Illinois, like Indiana and Ohio. You know, we didn't travel that far. But our budget got bigger where we could expand and travel to the West Coast and you know, East Coast and play different teams and help our, you know, our average. So, you know, everything like that was just eye-opening for me. And I said, wow, you know, this is going up. This is great. We're able to if we're good enough and we win our conference, we're able to participate in an NCAA tournament, you know? So all of that was just amazing. And it was, I just, you know, just love telling the story about it because people are like, really? Really? You guys didn't have enough uniforms? You know. So everyone suffered, but with NCAA, definitely things got better.
It's funny, I can remember a story, Hall of Fame softball coach Melinda Fisher at Illinois State, and I remember her telling me last year the story of not only was she washing the team uniforms, but she was driving the van, and only so many seats in it, so they had to leave some players behind and couldn't go to the tournament. It was wild.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, ladies, we have all 12 of our women's basketball teams here in attendance, and as we close this panel out, what is the one takeaway that you would like to share about Title IX and why it's still relevant to their experience today? And Dr. Curtis, let's start with you.
I would just say keep talking about it. It's only 37 words. Keep talking about it and what it means. Keep it visible, not just during a celebration, but all year long. And I want to finish by saying to all these student athletes in the room, I hope you know how incredibly proud we are of you, because it's such a tremendous commitment to be a student athlete in college. It's just extraordinary, and grades have to be kept up as well as your sport. Incredibly proud of who you are as young adults.
Betty.
Well, I would just encourage the young women to know their history and heritage. It's important to know where you've come from. It's important for me to know my history and heritage of my family and you for your family. But know where you've come from. The story is being written. Your story, you have a story that you're living right now. And as you live your story, as you live your dream, just remember the people who have gone before you. And if you have an opportunity, write a note to somebody within your school or that you know that helped pave the way. History is so important. When you get to be my age and you look back on your life and you see how everything has come together, then you have an appreciation and a celebration for things like Title IX.
Kathy.
Well, they both said it. I tell you. Tell your story. Tell your story. Pass the torch on. And that's the best thing you can do to keep Title IX moving forward, not backwards. Okay? And best of luck. I'm so very proud to be here and be able to be a part of this tournament. Congratulations. I've been following from afar all of the teams, and may the best team win. Good luck, ladies.
Well, ladies, it has been an absolute honor to be on this stage with you, and I can speak as a former collegiate athlete at Arizona State and now turned broadcaster. A lot of the opportunities that I have had in my life are because of the three of you and standing on the shoulders of greats like you. So thank you so much, and let's give these three women a rousing round of applause. Dr. Deborah Curtis, Betty Wiseman, and Kathy Boswell. Little transition period. I feel like I should be doing an outfit change or something there. The MVC Women's Basketball Tournament has grown each year since the conference brought this event to Moline in 2016. And it's no secret that corporate sponsorship support has been critical in helping the tournament develop really deep roots here in the Quad Cities. The 2023 edition of Hoops in the Heartland becomes the only, Division I standalone women's basketball tournament event to be held in the same city for 8 or more consecutive years. Hoops in the Heartland joins only the ACC, the Big Ten, Big 12, and SEC conference tournaments as the only Division I standalone women's basketball championship to be held at a neutral site for more than 15 consecutive years. With that said, I would like to introduce our guests at the head table. These individuals and their companies have provided financial support that is important to this tournament and the league's video initiatives. Starting to my far right, MVC Sports Properties, a division of Learfield Sports, is in its 14th year as the media marketing rights holder for the Valley. Please welcome General Manager Britt Oligschlager. And Britt, I gotta tell you, I've practiced that name a lot. We are grateful that we are conducting this banquet at the beautiful Rhythm City Casino Resort, which is in its first year as a conference partner. Please recognize Regional Vice President and General Manager Mo Hyder. Visit Quad Cities was the initial corporate partner for Hoops in the Heartland when it first moved to Moline back in 2016, and the mutually beneficial relationship continues to this day to flourish. Please welcome President and CEO Dave Harrell. Now in its 29th year as a corporate partner with the Missouri Valley Conference Women's Basketball, State Farm Insurance continues to be an absolute leader in our industry. With us tonight is sponsorship coordinator John Altoff, and his wife Mary Beth is also here. Moving to my far left, since 2016, the Quad Cities home for Hoops in the Heartland has been Vibrant Arena at the Mark. Please recognize Missouri Valley Conference alum and Executive Director for Vibrant Arena, Scott Mullen. The Missouri Valley Conference has expanded its presence in the Quad Cities, and one of the biggest reasons has been the leadership from conference staff. Please salute Hoops in the Heartland Tournament Manager and MVC Deputy Commissioner, Sharika Montgomery. And now, let's begin recognizing our on-court accomplishments by our student athletes, the best of the best in our league. The 2022-23 Missouri Valley Conference All-Conference Award winners. We would like to start by saluting the State Farm MVC Scholar Athlete of the Year, our 2022-23 State Farm MVC Scholar Athlete of the Year, has a 4.0 cumulative grade point average while earning her master's in biological studies. Our recipient is a 5'8" graduate guard from Iowa City, Iowa, Mary Crompton of Illinois State. Mary, please come forward to accept your award. Congratulations to our 2022-23 State Farm Scholar Athlete of the Year, Mary Crompton. And Mary, I have to tell you, you are good at everything. You could be cleaning toilets and you would excel at that. So congratulations. You are truly the best of the best. At this time, we would like to recognize the conference's all-freshman team. When your name is called, please come forward to the stage to accept your award. A 6-foot guard from hometown Illinois, Bella Finnegan of Indiana State. A 5'11" forward from Center Point, Iowa, Riley Goebel of Northern Iowa. A 5'9" guard from Blue Springs, Missouri, Jaden Mason of Southern Illinois. A 5'10" guard from DePauw, Indiana, Allie Saunders of Valparaiso. And now, the 2022-23 Freshman of the Year. A 6'3" guard from Fort Worth, Texas, Jade Masagayo of Missouri State. Jade, please come forward to accept your award. Let's have a round of applause for the MVC All-Freshman team and our Freshman of the Year, Jade Masagayo. At this time, we would like to recognize the conference's all-newcomer team. When your name is called, please come forward to the stage to accept your award. A 6'1" graduate forward from Des Moines, Iowa, Josie Filer of UIC. A 5'10" graduate guard from Nashville, Tennessee, Sydney Harvey of Belmont. A 5'7" graduate guard from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Ashley Jones of Southern Illinois. A 5'7" senior guard from Duncanville, Texas, Anaya Thomas of Missouri State. A 6'3" sophomore forward from Shawnee Mission, Kansas, Kennedy Taylor of Missouri State. Now it's time to honor our newcomer of the year, a 5'11" graduate guard from Bethany, Illinois, Paige Robinson of Illinois State. Let's hear it for our all newcomer team and our MVC Newcomer of the Year, Paige Robinson. We've recognized our all freshman team and our all newcomer squad, but we will turn our attention now to returning players, and one in particular who has elevated her game in 2022-2023. At this time, we will honor our most improved player, a 5'6" sophomore guard from Johnston, Iowa, Maya McDermott of Northern Iowa. Maya, please come forward and accept your award. Let's hear it for the 2022-23 Most Improved Player of the Year, Maya McDermott. Our next award recognizes the conference's Sixth Player of the Year, given to the league's top reserve, a 6'3" sophomore forward from Rochester, Minnesota, Anna Miller of Drake. Anna, please come forward to the stage to collect your award. Give it up for the MVC Sixth Player of the Year, Anna Miller. Now we'll salute the 2022-23 MVC All-Defensive Team. When your name is called, please come to the stage area to collect your award. A 6'2" junior forward from Grays Lake, Illinois, Kate Bowman of Illinois State. A 5'8" sophomore guard from West Des Moines, Iowa, Katie Dinnebeyer of Drake. A 5'4" sophomore guard from Glen Carbon, Illinois, Kiara Love of Southern Illinois. A 5'7" senior guard from Duncanville, Texas, Anaya Thomas of Missouri State. And the 2022-23 Defensive Player of the Year honor goes to a 6'3" forward from Rochester, Minnesota, Anna Miller of Drake. Please give a round of applause for our MVC All-Defensive Team and our Defensive Player of the Year. Next up, we will recognize the Valley's third team All-Conference honorees. When your name is called, please come to the stage to collect your award. A 6-foot redshirt senior forward from Indianola, Iowa, Grace Berg of Drake. A 5'8" graduate guard from Iowa City, Iowa, Mary Crompton of Illinois State. A 5'8" sophomore guard from West Des Moines, Iowa, Katie Dinnebeyer of Drake. A 6'1" graduate forward from Des Moines, Iowa, Josie Filer of UIC. A 6'3" sophomore forward from Shawnee Mission, Kansas, Kennedy Taylor of Missouri State. And give it up for the third team All Missouri Valley Conference choices for 2022-2023. Thank you, ladies. And now it's time to meet the Valley's second team all-conference squad. When your name's called, please come forward to get your award. A 6'1" senior guard forward from Normal, Illinois, Abby Fight of Evansville. A 5'7" graduate guard from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Ashley Jones of Southern Illinois. A 5'6" sophomore guard from Johnston, Iowa, Maya McDermott of Northern Iowa. A 5'7" senior guard from Duncanville, Texas, Anaya Thomas of Missouri State. And a 6'2" senior forward from St. Louis, Missouri, Deanna Wilson of Illinois State. Let's hear it for the 2022-23 All-Conference second team. And now the league would like to honor its best of the best, the 2022-23 MVC First Team All-Conference Squad. When your name's called, please come forward to accept your award. A 6'3" junior forward from Kettering, Ohio, Madison Bartley of Belmont. A 6'3" senior forward from Glen Ellen, Illinois, Maggie Bear of Drake. A 6'1" sophomore forward from Cedar Falls, Iowa, Grace Buffelli of Northern Iowa. A 5'6" junior guard from Lakeland, Tennessee, Destiny Wells of Belmont. A 6'1" junior forward from Oakwood, Illinois, Caitlin Young of Murray State. In 2022-23, Springfield, Missouri-based Great Southern Bank has recognized the importance of our next award, and we're grateful to have Jacob Hendon, Retail Banking Market Manager from Great Southern Bank, with us tonight, who will present our next honor with Commissioner Jeff Jackson. Our 2022-23 Jackie Stiles Trophy recipient, presented by Great Southern Bank, joins some very elite company. Among league leaders, she is second in scoring with 18.8 points per game, fifth in three-point field goal percentage at a 40.1% clip, and ninth in free throw percentage at a 79.3% accuracy. She becomes only the second player in Valley history to earn Newcomer of the Year honors and the Jackie Stiles Trophy in the same year. The recipient of the 2022-23 Jackie Stiles Trophy, presented by Great Southern Bank, is a 5'11" graduate guard from Bethany, Illinois, Paige Robinson of Illinois State. And Paige, if you want to make your way up to the stage, we're going to have you say a few words. Not to put you on the spot.
Thank Thank you, everyone, for honoring me with this prestigious award. There's so many great players in the Valley that I'm thankful I got to compete against this year. I want to give a special shout out to my parents. I wouldn't be anywhere without you guys. And then another special shout out to all my coaches and teammates. I've learned so much from you guys this year, and I'm just so thankful for every one of you. So thank you again for this award, and roll birds.
Thank you, Paige. We're excited to see what you and the Redbirds can do in the tournament this week. Ladies and gentlemen, please give one more round of applause for the 2022-23 Missouri Valley Conference first team all-conference squad and the Jackie Stiles Trophy recipient and all of our all-conference award winners. For just the 8th time in 40 seasons, and the first since the 2013-14 season, the MVC women's basketball race finished with co-champions. Belmont snagged a share of the title in its first year as a league member, while Illinois State won the program's 8th regular season title and its first since 2009-2010. Both teams finished the Valley regular season 17-3 in league play. At this time, we'd like to recognize both co-MVC regular season champions, starting with Belmont, who earned the 2nd seed. Would the Bruins seniors please come forward to accept your trophy? Congratulations to the Belmont Bruins. And now we would like to salute the Redbirds, which earned the conference tournament top seed by virtue of a win at Belmont in January. Would the Redbird captains come forward to accept your trophy? Ladies and gentlemen, please recognize the co-MVC regular season champions, the Belmont Bruins and the Illinois State Redbirds. And finally, the Valley would like to salute the 2022-23 MVC Coach of the Year. The 2022-23 MVC Coach of the Year was selected by a vote of the league's head coaches, sports information directors, and media compiled after the end of the regular season. Now, in her 6th season, she led her team to its first 20-win season since the 2012-13 academic year. This campaign, her team has a 23-7 overall record and clinched a share of the conference's regular season title on Saturday to finish 17-3 in league play. She becomes the 5th individual in her school's history to receive the Valley's top coaching honor, and I might add, she's a wonderful mother to 2 children. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2022-23 Missouri Valley Conference Coach of the Year is Illinois State head coach Kristen Gillespie. And Coach G, the mic is yours.
My one advice, whichever coach is fortunate enough to win, do not dance, because it will haunt you all year long, as you saw me attempting to gritty last year. It's not a pretty sight, but wow, I'm kind of shocked to be up here. I am so honored to receive this award. There are so many outstanding coaches in this league. I say this all the time, the Missouri Valley is the best mid-major conference in women's basketball, hands down. It's the players, it's the coaches, it's the style of play. You have to be ready game in and game out. And I think the last 6 years has made me a better coach because I've had to go up against some of the finest coaches in the country. So thank you so much. I would be remiss to say, as we continue to celebrate Title IX, I would be remiss to recognize one of my mentors who, as I was looking through the program, just happened to win the first Coach of the Year award. It's her birthday today, Jill Hutchison. And I think, yes, please give her, she's phenomenal, unbelievable ambassador and pioneer, but I think all of us coaches in this room know we do stand on the shoulders of giants, and it is our job to carry on the torch, and it's something I know I take very seriously. This award, I know it's Coach of the Year, but let's be real. It should be staff/program. There's so many people that go into making a team successful, and yes, it's my name that is by the head coach, but I have the finest staff, from Scott, Drew, Katrina, Benji, Steph, Raquel, Dan, Cam, Landon, Trey. I don't want to miss anyone. Madeline. Who am I missing? Brandon. Killer B, how could I forget you? And then all our players. I mean, this is, I'm just the fortunate one to get to lead this group, and they make my life so much better. And lastly, I know there's only one here, but I have to thank the spouses and the significant others in our programs, because let's be real, they are the real MVPs. And I have the best MVP at the table, my wife, Brittany. She keeps our house together. She does it all, so thank you for all you do. And Kelly, I'm not sure I could have a better compliment of being called a great mother, because that's the best title that I own and wear. And I promise, lastly, I just want to honor Simone Goods. As many of you know, we lost a player in August to cancer, and this whole season has been dedicated to her. And I can't help but think that she played a part in this, and she played a part of our success. We carry her in our hearts every single day, and I know she's smiling down so proud. So I just want to say, love you, Moan. This one's for you. Go Birds.
Congratulations, Coach Gillespie, to you and your staff on your season to this point. We're looking forward to seeing what you and the rest of the other 11 teams here can do at the tournament. Should be a very exciting 4 days of basketball. I can honestly say I have no idea who's going to win it based on the regular season and how things played out down the stretch. So just putting a bow on this all and wrapping up the regular season as we head into the tournament here, tipping off tomorrow. Some highlights from the regular season. Missouri Valley, 5 non-conference wins over Power 5 teams. Northern Iowa coach Tanya Warren, who's over there, trailblazer in her own right, 300 career wins. So congrats, Coach, for that awesome distinction. 2 linear TV games for our league, including this Sunday on ESPNU for our championship. Some national exposure, and of course the year-long celebration of Title IX. So thank you, Commissioner Jackson. I'm not sure there you are. And the Valley staff for putting on this wonderful event tonight. And that's going to wrap up our 2023 Women's Basketball Awards Banquet. Thank you for coming. We look forward to seeing you over the next 4 days at Vibrant Arena at the Mark. And enjoy Hoops in the Heartland. It should be a very fun showcase of the finest mid-major basketball. Good night.